Should be recording. I see the file. Yay. Continuing in Far Cry 3. This has been a somewhat busy week. It's part of the reason why I make notes on stuff. Where am I? Where am I? That's right. I want to keep. I want to keep clearing maps. I'm actually gonna head up to this one because then I can go around this way and come back. Yeah. It's underneath me. Anyway, so I got three main things here. One that's kind of time sensitive, though I didn't put it in the Friday news thing because I covered it last week. But Dying Light, the first game, the enhanced edition more specifically, is currently free on Epic Game Store as one their weekly giveaway. Which one thing interesting is they're not advertising one next week. Which could mean one of a few things. One is that they might be stopping that, which I actually kind of doubt. I think I actually saw something not long ago that they do intend to be continued. Alright, fine. I don't know how I'm gonna get back up there. But I want to. Okay, I can't. I wasn't sure if that actually would be too much of an angle. Where'd the thing even go? Is it goats here? Hang on. Let me just... Wait, I hit escape. Why are you... Sir? I just want to check if I even need... Go. I don't think I do. Oh, no, I do. Oh wow, I did not realize I had none. Only need the one. Fuck. Actually, yeah, this is... I can't craft error. Anyway, so yeah, as I was saying with Epic Game Store, it's also possible that they'll... No, sometimes they'll still, advertise something coming for the next week. Even if it is they're actually, starting a sale. Steam will do that, though. Where, they will just show, deals ending early. Typically the midweek madness sales go until Thursday, but sometimes you'll see it actually goes until only Wednesday or Tuesday. And if you just look at what the time of the year is, it's oh yeah, it's the spring sale is coming or something like that, or the winter sale, Christmas sale. summer sale, stuff like that. This guy's just got a lot of dogs. Seems to be alone. And I... Alright. If I can take those three out, then I don't need to be concerned about the alarm. I know there is a way to cut it. I don't remember what that way is. So the other news I have concerns CPU. So the 7800X3D, which I have looked at a little bit of the specific stuff concerning its release, but that's out and the reviews are as well. And it's... I guess the short way is it's kind of what you would expect for it, being the true direct successor to the 5800X3D. It is the single best gaming CPU available today. Like even the mighty 13900K can be beat. Right. Could have gone better. Could have gone a lot worse. I mean, if nothing else, I can sell them. But yeah, it is apparently... Like, I looked at the level 1 text review, which was made a very specific point of... This thing... Heck, I had 1 and then it went to 0. But they made a specific point of... They built a top-tier 13900K build. So it's like, you know, fastest RAM kind of stuff, you know, all that. And, you know, the best chipset motherboard for it. But for the 7800X3D, he just threw that into a B650 board. So something much more average. And the point being that, yeah, it's still able to match this much more expensive and well-built system. It's also, and this I am finding very interesting, and it is something I've seen other places talk about. Level 1 Text talked about it, but also Pharonics did. And that's, stuff. Sword. I've got a lot of dog. There's 4. Sell that. Sell a lot of the dog. I'll just keep... Oh wait, no. How is this sorted? I don't think any recipe takes more than 4 of anything. So I can safely... Why are those the sort of? Why can't just name. What do you think? Also, how is one... Oh, okay. Yeah, that's... This is not very good. No. I was thinking maybe grabbing the other scope for the thing, for the bow and arrow here, but that's not necessary. I did it again. Yeah, one thing though that they have been talking about, and I'm just trying to... I just wanted to look over what I had written quickly. So, it's, as I said, for gaming, there basically isn't anything better. But it's also important to note that it is, it's still only an 8-core processor, and it's an 8-core processor that doesn't have as fast of clock speed, base clock speed, as like the 7700X, so, which is AMD's other 8-core Zen 4 processor. So basically, for more general compute, it's not necessarily what you want. But if you're interested, and it's not that it's, bad for that, but that there are others that will outcompete it. But for just gaming, or anything that would benefit from the larger cache, it's very good. I don't remember, was it something that needed dingo? Because I don't think those are wild dogs. Yeah, those are dingo. I mean, it's like, for me, when I was contemplating how I wanted to upgrade the test system, 5900X or 5800X 3D. I went with the 5800X 3D because the,
I will show you how a true warrior fights!
because the pricing I saw for it was really good. But the 5900X 3D, I'm sorry, the 5900X would still have been, I was not expecting that to happen. Would still have been, for gaming, very good. Yes, I do. Okay. Drat, I can't put them into anything to my healing. No, yeah. But yeah, because I do use the test system for doing actually a lot of my video processing, because that way the desktop is free to do whatever. The 5900X would, in many ways, be superior to the 5800X 3D for, because it's 12 cores instead of 8, and I think the clock speeds also might have been more favorable. But it's still the 5800X 3D is still better than the 2700X I had. It's still a very good CPU for that stuff. It's just there are better. That is something that some people do potentially lose sight of. And I'm not saying that as it's like, oh, these people are idiots. No. It is just something that it is a concern people do need to have. And with CPUs, I think it's actually harder in some cases than with GPUs or other things, where it's, again, it's, you want to buy what makes sense for you. Because, it's not as simple with these X3D parts. It's not as simple as, it's like the higher numbers, the more expensive, the better performance. It's like the 7950 is better than 7900 is better than a 7800. Sorry, 7700. There is no 7800. But it's like, you know, that's clear. But with the X3D parts, it's not so. So it is like, you know, if you want a game, but you're not necessarily, oh, I gotta have top tier gaming, you can be fine with like the 7600X. So 6 core, 12 thread. If you're doing more compute heavy stuff, then 7900 and 7950X are better. More dingoes, it looks like. One I know is over here. So. Right. They really could do a better job of marketing. Oh. Undying Bear. That's promising. But one thing that I did see talked about in some of the reviews is, so the 7800X3D, because of the 3D V cache, which is going to be sensitive to temperature, they had to lower the TDP because you don't want the cache overheating. That'll cause a problem. I don't know. Maybe I should try salting these now. But what they were finding was, it's like, yeah, it's competing performance-wise with the 13900K, but the two places I saw wattage specified, it was under 100 watts at load. Whereas the 13900K is like, yeah, we're talking about something that can push 200 watts. It's like this thing is absolutely killing in terms of efficiency, which I want to say the 1300 series, 13th gen from Intel, has gotten better at that, at efficiency, but at the same time, it has been
Can you stop? You're freaking me out.
Come on, bullshit. You do it.
Wow, there's actually quite a few guys here.
Fuck me! Find whatever that was!
I have no idea how many we can get into camp.
Get a grip.
This might.
I must be losing it.
Oh wait, no, it's not. Oh no, that guy.
Here. You got this, man. You got this.
Okay. So neither of them actually crossed the fence, so I wasn't in danger, but because I split myself, just in case,
All right, here we go.
I ended up
Oh my God!
missing.
Fine.
Oh, missing opportunity. Oh no, he's already.
I can't wait to fuck someone up for killing him. Wherever you are, I'll find you. You can do this. Where'd you go? Huh?
Do this, the guy's far enough away. I think I have death from above, don't I? Yeah. I mean, it looks like I'm gonna have an angle on.
All right, here we go.
Hey!
Awesome. And that should... Yep, that glued it. Ah. Yep. That was like perfect. Don't need to loot.
Tell anyone who tries to take this outpost.
Yeah, so the 700X3D, if I were to build a new test system, which I have no reason, I'll be honest, I genuinely have. So, I also don't want to spend that money, and I have no idea where I would put the current thing. I was like, I already have a server built. I don't need to, from old parts, I don't need to do that again. What all? Bad Town is actually like nearby. Yeah, we can grab that. Sure. That way I'm just working my way down. But yeah, I mean, it is interesting. Now, I will say one thing, because I have thought about, just, to entertain my mind kind of thing. Might we see, and what form would it take, a Threadripper with 3D VCache? Because, as I recall, there is 3D VCache versions of Epic. The Zen 3 Epic. So basically the 5800X 3D dies, but in the Epic form. But if you're for Threadripper, you don't need to do it quite that way, because this is targeting consumers. It's in HEDT part, which is more consumer or prosumer. So it would be more so somebody like me, who it's like, yes, I want all those cores, because, and also PCIe lanes. PCIe lanes are more because, why not? I'll find a use for them. And cores for video processing. But it's like, I do also want to be able to game. And it's like, well, I think you could do it one of two ways, putting the Vcache on there. One would be having like a single one of the compute dies with the Vcache. So 8 cores with it. Because most games today don't need more than 8 cores or 16 threads. There might be some you can find, but most... That topology would be weird, though, because you may have multiple... more than just 2 dies there. Probably going to be 4... at least. Like 4 is original generation Threadripper. I think it's 12 that you can have right now with the epics. Maybe it's only 8, but it's like, 1 that would make the topology kind of weird. So the other option would be half of them, which would probably be overkill. I mean, I've said before, I think what I would like to go for would be like a 24 core. I think that would satisfy me perfectly, but 12 cores with 3D Vcache. So that would be 24 threads. I don't know if that would actually... if I would actually benefit from that thing. I know. If I swap to it and then come back, that helps. Yeah. And I do actually have a map. I don't actually know if I can take that on, to be honest, but try. Wait, this. Ah, cool. Flamethrower. Actually, there's a lot of stuff. Now, God. To be honest, though, I'm not even sure if this is something I assault or something. Like, I'm gonna have a mission here eventually that clears it. But, yeah, I mean, I don't know how it would be. One advantage to if it's only one die is there's then more that can clock higher because they don't have the thermal introduced from that. Okay, no, the weapon. Yeah, so it's gonna be a mission or something. In which case, then, over there. Oh, is this with that one American that's actually in? I don't remember if he's in 2. It's been way too long since I've touched that game. But he's like the same character in 4. Can't remember his name, but he's just like, yeah, Herc. This guy.
This is Jason, right?
Hello? Who is this?
Man, I think I got the wrong guy. I'm looking for Jason. Is he, like, there? Is Jason in the vicinity?
Who is this?
Herc, man. Jason's never met me, but I need some help. If he's interested, sending you my location, you let him know, okay?
I think there's even a Herc-like character in Far Cry Primal. Despite the fact that you can't really talk, I think that there was one guy who was just same kind of caricature. I don't remember, but it wouldn't surprise me. But yeah, I could see going back to a 3D a Vcache Threadripper. I could see, it going different ways with how they would want to do that layout. But at the same time, though, they could also have some fun with it because, like with the 7900 and 950 X3D, you have the one die with 3D Vcache right next to the other die that doesn't have. But with a Threadripper, you can have a lot more distance between. Because it's the I/O die is situated between, so you could have them on either side of that. This is not going to be. I don't remember how those armor guys work, but I don't think that the arrows necessarily go, I would kill them. Maybe with headshots, but that's not anything. But yeah, I could. I don't know. It will be interesting to see what may come of a Vcache enabled Threadripper. Would it be what I would go for? I think is one question though, and I don't know. I mean, I'm not in any rush to upgrade for various reasons. But would I? I don't think that'll actually help me. But it's like, before this goes very, very bad, why not do? And there is a way to disable. Yeah. I want all alarms up. Awesome.
I hate it here.
Fuck me!
I have no idea what killed me. Must have been the fire. Alright. Well, at least I know I can get to the alarms and shut that off, because that's going to be the thing that'll really hurt. If they are able to get back of it. I didn't even know that guy was there. But yeah, as far as myself, I mean, because the desktop is like my primary, well, yeah, it is my primary machine. So it's what I game on, it's what I record on. Might not always be what I process on, but it is all that. So a Vcache Threadripper would be nice, but it isn't necessarily I'm gonna wait until that's what's available kind of thing. It would be more of a, if it is available, might be what I go for. But it is also, I am still of the opinion that I should wait for like Zen 5, which gets me to the other point. The other thing that well, the final point that I have on my note. Oh yeah, I could actually talk, there's another thing. So, don't know how, but there is, Jim Keller did some sort of presentation in which he did give numbers, performance numbers for Zen 5. He's not been with AMD for a long time. Now, to be fair, he also was with AMD at a time when they still would have been designing that. So he's not going to be totally ignorant of Zen 5's potential. But supposedly, like 30% above Zen 4 is what we currently have. And it's like, okay, how? And how does he have this data? So, big grain of salt with that. But I will, at the same time, though, say that Zen 4 has several major changes involved. How do I use it? I honestly just don't remember how to. Okay, it's just like that.
Where the fuck? Where'd you go? Fuck me! What was that? Fire! Oh! Your eye!
Metal doesn't burn. For remembering that eventually. Damn it. I'm not. Come on. I keep holding the button and it's like, nah, I'm not gonna do anything. There we go. Yeah, arrows generally work on them. So at some point I'll probably want a sniper. But yeah, I don't fully know what all we should expect from Zen 5, but I do think that such an improvement to performance is not totally unreasonable. And I know you might be like, well, wait, I mean, 30% improvement, that's absurd, isn't it? Maybe, but it's Zen 4 had to deal with a move to DDR5, to PCIe 5, to completely new chipset. There's a lot of spots where even if you're like, well, Zen 5 isn't, as far as the core design go, necessarily going to be all that different from Zen 4. Well, maybe not. I think they've also long been rumors that it will actually be appreciably different. Like, some people have been expecting a move to, like 6-core base CCD. Well, no, sorry, 12-core base CCD. Instead of, the current 8-core CCD. It's like, if maybe that's going to happen with Zen 5. Possible. And that would certainly be a significant change in performance, uplift in performance. Because it would be so many more cores per CPU. But as far as, like IPC and frequency, though, Zen 4 was a leap, in part from the technology. With the technology, like a new process node, as I said, new memory, new PCIe. So, I mean, there's reasons for believing that, no, we could have a significant up. Like, a Zen 4 Plus could actually perform quite a bit better, or at least have greater stability, especially with the memory. Also, one thing, point was made that QVO lists, the qualified memory lists, have changed a lot for AM5. The hell? Ah! Come on. They've been getting better and better with memory support, and also memory quality has been improving. So there's, a lot there as well. And it is a, that's just, Zen within Zen 4 itself. So it's not unreasonable that some things could be done without even a major generation leap, but technically Zen 5 should be. Zen Plus, the 2000 series, was kind of weird. And I don't know if they would ever do that again. Might not need to. But it's like, as Zen 5, maybe those numbers aren't unreasonable. But it's, regardless, we'll find out when it comes out, kind of. And I don't remember if that's something we expect at the end of this year. I think I did see something that we might see at least some stuff for RDNA for the end of this year, or like a refresh for it. I don't quite remember. Hell, I'm still just gonna be happy when we get the 7000 series mobile chip, which I did see one thing that apparently they are changing the packaging a little bit, where it's like the latest generation, so the Zen 4 based ones, the logos for those have an orange color to them, where all of the Zen 3 and even Zen 2 architecture design one mobile CPUs will be will have a gray logo to them, which that'll help, but it's also just, it has to be a 7040 or 7045 series to be Zen 4. The 45 is the more or less desktop CPUs fit into a laptop, so dual CCD. Whereas the 745 is a monolithic design, but it's like the completely new design with Zen 4 and RDNA 3 GPU in there. So that's the one I'm looking for. And that's unfortunately going to be a while yet. Yeah, because that framework 16-inch, I like it. I like the thing we're showing, but we don't have any details on it yet. I'm hoping for, 7040 in that, an AMD GPU, discrete GPU option. Wow, go that way at all. I like Radeon Chill, so I want that in a laptop. I don't know why you wouldn't want that in a laptop. They are not coming at me. Oh hey, deer. I come back. I need to kill you and skin you. I think it's best I just wait, let them calm down, and then start hunting. And that is such a sad face.
Disgusting.
Still, I gotta do it. No. Um. But yeah, it's like that's not expected till the end of the year. And it's like I'm making it with my old laptop, but an upgrade will be very nice. In many ways.
Ew.
I don't want to just snap these things. I don't trust myself for that. Um. Pivoting. I think that is actually over the hill. Yeah, it is. Get that one then. That was a complete. I really should just stalk them. I'm getting impatient. But at least there's a lot here. There we go. That should be 4 right now. And it's not just rocket that that's the main thing I want. Perfect. I feel no, you need tape. Yeah, tape. Okay. Now we can get back. Well, if I can get 2 more, that takes care of it. No, let's actually continue the map. Although, how long have I been going? Save for... Oh, 45 minutes. Yeah, we can go a little bit longer. Because there was one more thing. I didn't put in the notes. It is in the Friday write-up. Stardock announced... It was actually last week. I'm going to have to contact them because I haven't gotten a press release email from them. Actually, no, I did. I just didn't get it with this. Because I got with the recent Steam sale. I did get an email about, hey, some of our stuff's on sale. But I didn't get anything about the Galactic Civilizations for Supernova. Didn't get anything about that release. Well, not releasing, being announced. It's releasing to early access on April 27th, though. That's a game I need to spend more time with Galciv for. It's like I bought it, I put some time in, but I don't know, it didn't quite grab me. And I also had other things I needed to do, so I did those things. But there are some aspects to it, it's a new one, that do intrigue. One is they're changing combat a lot. Like for how Galciv has been for a long time, they're changing that. So traditionally, like since Galciv 2 it sounded like, you had rockets, lasers. I'm not sure what the third is. But it was basically long-range explosives, beam weapons, and then it was like short-range missiles, or more like Gatling gun kind of thing. That kind of fire. And then also 3 defenses that are what basically matched those. Ooh, that's a bait. It's a dumb bear, though. It's literally got its head stuck. Man, you want to get that. You got it. Thank you. Oh, wait. There's still somebody back there? Nice. And undetected. But we have the bear. Alright. Thank you, guys. Executed it, but... Come on, where is...
I hope my family's okay.
There it is. I know I need bearskin for something.
Ew.
Yeah, so in addition to that, where offense and defense has changed, they are also, and this is... I think that's actually the gun I need. They have also changed. Well, they are also, I should say, they are also changing. I have no idea what that is. What achievement thing I just got.
Hello, brother.
The ship classes are also going to be different. Which in some ways makes sense, in some ways don't. Just space-based, technically, things are opened up. But basically, instead of it being how I actually wrote it, though it hasn't gone live just yet, it will when I'm processing the audio.
Hello, brother.
Instead of it being a race for larger ships that can carry more weaponry and more armor, instead of that, the different ship classes now actually have their own advantages and disadvantages. So, for example, a large, like, dreadnought type ship is going to, I don't know if this is actually what they're doing. There's a reason why it actually doesn't have to be that way, but in any case, you might assume that that's going to be slower. Yes, it can carry a lot of armor, and yes, it can carry a lot of weapons, but if it's slower, then it's more likely to get hit. Whereas something smaller and faster, like a fighter or frigate, is going to be able to actually assail it effectively. And that is part of what they were talking about, is that basically a well-crafted... Check. Cool, I can have any... Ah, I... Uh... Oh. Give me that, because I'm actually not really getting it. Nice fights that. And that's also what I want. So let's see what I can sell and equip that. Like that. I mean, I don't need money. That's not. Well, actually, that'll get me new if I sell all the dogs. Oh no, that is. I don't know. I thought I only counted, which seemed weird because it should have been 4 anyway. There, perfect. Oh wait, well, if that's what's equipped. Fire rate is higher, damage is down, so I don't know. What's the... Oh, I actually could. Now I'm gonna keep to the AK for now, because with that, I should be able to trust that I'll find ammo. So that's just 2 zoom levels, which is fine. But this should be able to take out armor. Even though that is exactly why I wanted to equip, and why I stuck on it what I did. Yeah, let me actually. There. I'm pulling up the. Where did I see all the nice? Here we go. The dev journals for Supernova. The FAQ, what's new in he talks about sectors. Play with multiple sectors. Okay, yeah, because I think in Galciv 4 currently it is you only have like 2. But this is multiple. Or you can continue with single. Oh, wait, or it's like that, where it's actually you already have the like multiple smaller maps that connect together. And this is those can connect to like clusters of those. Yeah, new combat system. Various weapons and defense systems have distinct behaviors and damage handling abilities. Multi-species civilizations, which makes some sense, although you already had some element of that. Probably improving on that. New starship classes, enhanced control over their performance. You got fighters, cruisers, and dreadnoughts have unique priorities during battle, so you can build diverse fleets. And that's actually, realistic. Like, I've not touched World of Warship for so long now, but you had in that destroyers, cruisers, and battleships at least. There might have also been another class like frigate. Oh, and aircraft carriers. But anyway, destroyers, they were very small, not very powerful of weapons, but they were very fast. And in fact, part of their purpose in actual military usage is they would get between enemy, well, they would harass, but they would also get between enemy ships and things like your battleships, because that way they take the hits. Like, the destroyer isn't necessarily going to take out a battleship. You need the battleship to do that, but if the destroyer can help absorb the damage, so the battleship can, you got that advantage. And I remember the battleship, using battleship in that was fun at times, but it was, you had to, because they were slow, and had to kind of play as artillery with them. Which is why I kind of preferred cruisers, because they were faster, but still had that kind of capacity there. So they might be leaning into some of that stuff, which, that's good, but there is also the issue that, even a dreadnought, even a freaking massive ship, we're in space. So it isn't like you have a rudder. You don't have screws in only one spot on the ship. You can technically have your main engines anywhere. I was like, if you look at, definitely from TNG on, with Star Trek, you'll see these, red glowing things on there. It's like, they're very visible on the Enterprise D. Voyager also has them there. They're depicted on the back of the nacelle wings. In the parts that actually hold the nacelles, you see them there. The Sovereign class, so that's the Enterprise E. It's been a while since I've watched one of the movies with that. They have, like, I think it's 2 on either side of the saucer section. And the Defiant of Deep Space Nine also, I'm trying to remember where it was. I'm pretty sure you do see them, and they're, like, on the nacelle portion. I just don't quite remember where. Those are actually the impulse drives. That is what those are meant to be, what they're meant to represent. But it's like, yeah, they only have one, and then thrusters are just nebulously placed. But you could technically have multiple of those things. Multiple impulse engines all around a ship. I was like, consider a Borg cube, which you have no idea what the actual design is there, at least how they're typically presented, but technically you could have their impulse drives at every corner of the cube, which would then provide tremendous maneuvering capability. So, I mean, you not to say that a fighter couldn't still be more maneuverable than a dreadnought, but you could still have a very massive ship be very maneuverable because it's space. You can put this stuff anywhere. And you don't have to worry about currents either. It's just, the mass of the ship itself, which for something like a Borg cube, yeah, that's going to be hard, but if you're just looking to turn and not, like, to just spin on your axis, if you have them at the corners, you can do so in a balanced way, so it's actually going to be very easy, very efficient. So it is, yeah, unfortunately, I've written some stories that are space-based, so I've considered the physical designs of spaceships too much. And it's like, yes, you can do this. I don't know why. It's like, oh no, bigger ships are always going to be slow. It's like, well, there's an element of you're only providing the thrust. Well, the amount of thrust you can provide is going to be based on the surface area. There's that element, because you can't have some sort of thruster within the body of the ship and actually have that do anything. It doesn't need to be on the surface. Whereas the mass, you're trying to overcome is based on the volume. There is that, but it's still, you can make these things very powerful. You can make these engines very powerful. It's all science fiction after all. And you can have a lot of them. It's like the main ship design I use in the stories that I was just talking about. True, it's kind of a superstructured design, but it's like you basically have one entire side of the ship. Now it's open, so it's, kind of a rectangular grid there. It's modular design. It's meant to be able to hold cargo and such on there. But the whole side of those can basically be can be the thrusters, can be the engine. Now notice technically also you have that on the front too, so you can brake. So you can push thrust out of the front to slow down, which is something that I've never seen covered in Star Trek, by the way. It's like all the thrusters are to accelerate. There's no explanation for how they brake. Oversight or just why bother? But in any case, it still is. You can do that and get these things to be really, really fast and powerful. Those ships, though, I will grant, are not designed for maneuvering. Really, they're big-ass cargo ships, basically. The things I got designed. So it's like, they don't need to turn so much, but they still have a lot of surface area, and they do have thrusters on them. So they can maneuver. There's some other stuff that helps them, but it is still you can maneuver that. Yeah. I'd be that spoiled sport if I worked at Stardock. That's like, but why? We can just do it this way, and see, now it's very maneuverable. It's still a big target, but it's very maneuverable. I do believe, though, that is one thing, and I'll stop after this, that when I try to write that science fiction stuff, in my stories, that's why my stories, my stuff, I do try to approach it in a realistic manner such that, like, the ship I was just talking about is not meant to ever go in atmosphere. It has no aerodynamic design to it at all. It doesn't need to be. It's only meant for space. So, some of the designs that you do see then in some games, but also in some media, in other forms of media, where a spaceship that has wings to them, it's like, why? It's like a lot of these ships basically should never be in atmosphere. There's no purpose for them to ever be in. Yet you still have some that do design that way, and it's also the whole, overcoming gravity is one thing. Overcoming atmosphere is another, too, for being able to take off. So, like, you actually did see Voyager land on planets. It's like, all it could do for taking off was use thrusters. Like, that's all it would have for that, because the impulse drive is along its main axis. So you'd have to use thrusters to actually lift the ship up, and then impulse, if you wanted to just take the long way to basically leave the planet tangential to its surface. That's not going to be easy, but at least I would minimize the air resistance. But if you're trying to go straight up, you've got the air resistance pushing down. You also have the weight of the air on the ship. And it's like that. Those thrusters would have to be freakishly powerful. Is kind of my point there for that to be realistic. And I try to attack that, where it's like, no, these ships aren't ever meant to go in atmosphere. Or, yeah, they can, but they're designed for that and very powerful. So, yeah, I get... My rules to science fiction is that, well, my rule for science fiction is it must be rule. There must actually be rules there. So it's like, I know what laws of physics I've broken, but I also know how I've healed that break, how I've gone around it to connect everything back up. I know what rules I bent, where I didn't break them, but I am stretching them. And I know what rules are untouched. And I find that actually helpful to do that. It's like, even though I've built this box basically that I'm in, the box is still very large, and I can come up with very interesting ways to apply things in there. But it's just a lot of people that have that, they can't help but think of spaceship design in terms of airplane. It's like, it's completely different. You can think of airplanes in terms of ships, because you're still moving through fluids, the friction is different, the viscosity is different. I mean, it's more so like a submarine and an airplane. You could compare to each other. A ship that's on the surface, not so much, but it's like there you have some comparisons, but there is no fluid in space. Well, technically there is, but it's very low density on average, so but still, it's like, you really have a true freedom of design once you're in space. Because there's no aerodynamics, none of that. It's just, how much mass do you have and where can you put the thrust? It's just stuff like that. Actually, I will add this one thing, because there is actually a canon explanation, at least I'm pretty sure it's canon, for why all the Federation starships have the saucer section. It's to help with the formation of the warp field. Like, I think it's Picard in TNG, you see a model of a ship in his office that has a spherical section in the front. That's because initially that's what they found would be the most efficient for helping to form the bubble that is the warp field around it. But over time, it was collapsed down to a disk, to a saucer. That's also part of the reason why Star Trek Enterprise made no sense. Because you already have this saucer section design, but canonically, they then went to a sphere and then back down to a saucer. It makes no sense. But it's like, that actually does have a reason there, but it's still, you got Klingons, Vulcans, Romulans, Cardassians, and so on, that none of them use that same design. So it's clearly you have a lot of options. I won't count that as a rant, but I can ramble on about science fiction. It's not a rant, because I'm not trying to be mean or anything. It's just, like, healthy, constructive criticism. At least that's my intent. So, yeah. See you next time, when maybe I'll talk about some other genre. I don't know. Yeah. See you then.